Hi, for my topic for the discussion board, Module 5 of this week, Week 5 of the American Revolution, I'm going to talk about how Abigail Adams and Betsey Ross, similarities in the lives of two women and a united purpose. And my thesis is that Abigail Adams and Betsey Ross were two famous American women with very similar lives, and that they had many similarities in their history and their goals for the place of women in America. As this video requires us to make use of the article, How Betsey Ross Became Famous, I'll be referring to that on occasion as well. Betsey Ross's fame largely stems from the idea and legend that she created the first American flag used in the Revolution by the Continental Army and Patriots. However, the historical evidence behind this is lacking, and it's unknown whether she actually existed by primary source evidence and whether she actually did create the original American flag. Allegedly, she met with George Washington, who suggested the five-pointed star to her, and I thought that was particularly interesting that she met George Washington. By the 1900, as it said in the article, How Betsey Ross Became Famous, it states that by 1900, an association with Betsey Ross was as good as an association with George Washington, in terms of patriotic nostalgia. Due to her origin, due to her famous status in the American Revolution, she is a famous heroine of it and stands as a symbol of female American history. She was not the only famed woman from the American Revolution, however. She was not the only woman to have a great achievement. Another woman made an improvised flag to fly at Fort Schuyler after General Burgoyne's British army was defeated at Saratoga in 1777, and another named Anna Bailey made flannel for the cannonballs out of her own petticoat and the collected petticoats of others, and used them to fire at the British soldiers who invaded Fort Griswold under the treachery of Benedict Arnold. Betsey Ross is clearly an important legend of American history, but if one compares the life of Abigail Adams and her accomplishments, the two are not entirely dissimilar. Abigail Adams was the wife of the second president of the United States and founding father, John Adams. She was an avid reader and administrator, and during his long trips away serving the state and helping to execute the functions of the government, mainly the executive branch, of course, she was responsible for running her family's household, running her family's farm, taking care of her children, and also taking care of all of the actions, setting up company dinners, etc. She was very important to her husband's political success. She was very politically savvy. She was responsible for running company dinners. She would hold private gatherings. She would do whatever it took to further the alliances between important people and her husband and his political ambitions. She was an avid commentator in both the Federalist papers and the Republican newspapers. She was the model, really, in the early 19th and 17th and 18th century of what a first lady in America should act like and conduct herself as. She championed the cause of female contribution to American history. She was noted for using her skills as a writer to sway even the most conservative of the most chauvinist of the conservative men in America. She defied traditional gender roles and established practices. She is noted for one example for leaving to her young granddaughters most of her estate, which directly defied the law that made her husband master of all she owned. She was a very shrewd businesswoman. She was very financially savvy despite not having any education, which of course would include mathematics. And she amassed a small fortune during her time as First Lady. I thought that was particularly interesting. And clearly, as the evidence shows, Abigail Adams and Betsey Ross were both very high-achieving, important, and nearly legendary American women with significant accomplishments of their own. The work Abigail Adams and Betsey Ross both did influenced American history for generations, and the flag Betsey designed was the banner under which the world's strongest empire fell and a new republic arose. So, So please feel free to comment on this video, or not comment on the video, I mean comment or provide feedback. I always enjoy hearing it. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Have a wonderful day.